How's it going, YouTube? It's been over 4 months since I made a video. Been very busy, just been working, haven't had the ambition, just kind of doing my thing. Figured I'd give you guys a kind of what's been happening around the property without me filming. Kind of like an update kind of video. So as you can see, I still have my wonderful Expedition. Still love that thing. Been having a lot of problems with the tires that we bought for it, but that's okay. I'll get those all squared away. Still got my tree mutts up here. My house really needs some attention. That's a friend of mine's truck that the transmission went out of. I'm got to put a tranny in it. Probably end up buying off of them. I don't know if I ever showed that I put a front clip on my son's car that I wrecked. That's my son's Mercury Sable. I finally brought my grain hauler back in from the job site. Someone decided to vandalize it, so I said that enough is enough. So I brought it home, which it's usable, but the tires are flat on the back because they decided to just ruin my tires. My son, I don't know if I ever showed this, my youngest son picked up a 350Z, really nice car, 6-speed manual, 3.5, nothing fancy, but she's got over 300 and some horsepower. She's pretty quick. And then of course, I don't know if I ever showed this truck, 68 grain hauler. Did some swapping and trading with my boss. Give him this one for another one, which I'll show you after a while. This seems to be the area that always fills up with a bunch of junk. That Escape has been sitting on that lift for over 2 years. I really need to get out here and get something done with it. This area has changed since last time I filmed it. I picked up this truck. The truck that was sitting right there, the white one, we scrapped it. But I bought this one here for 500 bucks. I'm gonna try to maybe start another video, or maybe make a video on this one. I already started doing a bunch of work to it, but really, I can film up and pick up where I left off, because I really haven't done any accomplishments to it yet. Just a little bit here and there. It's a 90, but I did some swapping around with, well, that truck right there, which we drug out and started stripping. Got the windshield out of it, all of the interior. But I'm putting the door panels in here. Got me new speakers for it, kind of amp. Got my door panels. Ripped the dash out to get the windshield out. Yeah, just kind of here lately. It's just been storage. This truck, I'll explain this in another video. What's going on with this truck? But yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the when I junked the black van when I tried to blow the motor up in. I bought this one here to replace it. Well, it met its demise as well. Blew the motor up in it as well, but I got several thousand miles out of it. Pulled the rear end, sold the rear end, fuel tank went out of it to another van that I bought and already had resold. CV Axle has been robbing parts off of it. It's basically a parts van now. This poor old truck right here, still got a good motor in it. We're gonna get it out, but getting it ready to, getting it ready to scrap. Just got to take the doors off and a bunch of other little things. I did some swapping and trading. My son owns this truck now. We're gonna get it drug out. And well, I don't need to drag it out. This one runs. And it drives. I need to put a set of hot batteries in it, which they may still be hot. I unhooked them. Gonna scrap the Malibu. Pulled the engine out of my nephew's truck. He blew it up. And we're just gonna junk that old 95 Ford. Picked this up here from the same guy I picked up the truck from. I gave 200 bucks for this thing. And believe it or not, that thing runs and operates and everything. I couldn't believe it. We got it for 200 bucks. And got the Honda 4Track going, running. Which kids were riding the crap out of it until battery decided to take a crap, or they messed up the charging system, one of the two. And then the Kawasaki, we got it running as well, and then they went and blew it up. So I think it jumped time. It will run, but it has no power. And then this one here, Yeah, I don't even know what's going on with this one. I think it's got stuck valves or something, but it won't run, which just sucks because my son paid a lot of money for that four-wheeler. But it is what it is. We'll get it going. This is one of the trucks I did some swapping with my sons with. This little Ford Ranger right here. He bought this one off in a little town for pretty cheap. And we're going to fix it up. It's my truck now. Fix it up and maybe drive it. And I bought that off a friend of ours, kid. Blowed up motor in it, spun some rod bearings. I was gonna fix it, but now my mother-in-law bought one identical like it, and they hit a deer with it. So I'm gonna take all the body panels off this one because it's white, and I'm gonna probably end up convincing her to swap the engine from hers into this one because it's in better shape. Redid some ranging around here. I don't know if I showed you. I set this building up. I got all my copper, brass, and propane bottles, and that truck bed right there on the end full of copper or car batteries. This one's full of aluminum and copper and stuff I have to sort. A stack of aluminum there. Then that truck bed right there is full of, it's got aluminum in it and some scrap metal. And I did move this back here with the backhoe, which I don't know if I ever showed that or not. So yeah, it's been a lot going on around here. Campers are still sitting in the same spot. I'll probably end up taking this one right over here. I don't know if I'll sell the dadgum thing or fix it. Really don't know yet. Haven't done nothing with the tractor. I moved that frame on top there. It wasn't supposed to be permanent, but I had to get it out of the way so I can get through here with the backhoe. So this is my International backhoe I purchased off my dad. Really awesome piece of machinery. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. Can't use the hoe on it because I got to replace the hydraulic cylinder seals. They're all leak like a sieve, so the hoe part on the back's junk. As of the moment, it needs some hydraulic hoses, but been using the bucket. I have to hot wire it now because the ignition switch went out of it, and of course I had to hot wire the fuel pump because I ripped all that out. And then I picked this thing up here for 25 bucks, and I don't know anything about it yet, but for 25 bucks, it's identical as the one I got underneath the carport I gave 200 for. Figured parts, and if I can get it running, I got that golf cart back there that I want to swap the chassis into. Then we picked this thing here up. It's an 1818 case, diesel, 3-cylinder. Supposed to run, but it hasn't ran in 3 years. Waiting on the opportunity to get working on it. And it's got some good stuff on it. It's got some rough stuff on it. Came with an extra set of skinny wheels. I don't think those are the ones that probably came off it before they put these wider tires on it. It's hard to say. But I don't know. Still got my tool wagon. I usually would have it parked out back, but the battery went dead on it and I'm too lazy to jump start it. And I ripped out some trees over here. And then of course I've still got all that property over there. Moved the box trailer over here. We're going to clean it all out so we can set it up for camping and hanging out and whatnot. Bought this gooseneck trailer, if I haven't already showed it, to haul the backhoe around. That transmission is supposed to go in that GMC right there. That belongs to my mother-in-law's husband. And I'm still driving this piece of crap. I don't know. It's sat for 1.5 years after the serpentine belt went through the timing cover. And I just was so disgusted with this truck that I just said, screw it. Sat for 1.5 years. Got to where I needed another truck because I blew up my dad's 1-ton. And so I fixed this one. It took me a day to fix it. Seems kind of silly to let it sit for 1.5 years for a day's worth of work, but it's up and running again. I use it to pull the trailer all over the place, but that's all I use it for, is just to pull the trailer. If I'm hauling loads of junk to the scrapyard or hauling the backhoe place to place. And this vehicle belongs to my boss. I was driving a 2005 Grand Caravan, and I sold that to one of my guys that works for me because he needed a vehicle and I was hurting for cash. That's the story of my life. But yeah, so been trying to clear out these trees over here to open this up because I really want to get a fence put back in here, but the back goes out of gas, so until I get the money to put some fuel in it, that's on hold. Oops. So this blue Ford right here, the 79, I sold the bed off of it. I'm still going to yank the cab and the front clip off for the 77 that sits in my garage and build that truck out one of these days. My son laid claim to it as well. Did I walk by my White Ranger? I guess I walked right by the White Ranger. Was a friend of mine's truck that we did some swapping with my buddy, my son. So the doors, cab, and front clip are spoke for a truck in that garage over there. Probably take some good stuff off the frame and junk it. That four-wheel drive chassis right there, it's got a 5-speed on it, so I'll probably yank the 5-speed and the running gear out of it and junk the rest of it. This has got a good running 302 in it and good axles and the transfer case for the 5-speed. I'm going to yank all that out and junk the rest. This is the truck I did some trading with, the white one I just showed you. It's a good looking truck. It's a 72, but it has a blowed up motor in it, and we robbed a bunch of parts off of it to get a 76 running. So this one is kind of missing a bunch of pieces. Kind of is what it is, but I'll put this one together. It's hard to believe it, but this truck has a good running 5.8 in it and a transmission that's good, but I'm going to junk this out. I took the front springs out of it for something. Bought this Dodge right here for the gray one. This has got a 5-speed manual in it, and it's got a 24 valve Cummins in it, but it's been bored over and something went wrong. They blew it up. It does run and drive, but it has got so much blow by and it runs terrible, and I let a buddy of mine take a bunch of parts off of it. So yeah, this one here, I'm actually going to put this 79 back together. It's got a 3 on the tree inline 6. This truck's actually for sale, but I want to put it together unless I can put all the pieces together and somebody buys it off me with all the pieces and they put it together. But it's hard to say. We'll see when we get there. And then Dad's old trusty 110, which Dad gave this, or well, we made an agreement on it. I got this truck off my dad. Didn't really buy it off him, but we made a deal with it. 300 6-cylinder, finally went down on it. It still runs, believe it or not, but she has no power. Like she is completely down in power. Brand new motor mount on this side here busted, so the motor will slap the hood and keeps pulling the map sensor unplugged, and then she runs really worse. But she's blowing oil all out of the top end of it. She didn't like pulling that backhoe, and she throws the serpentine belt off of it every time, and she's getting really thin, and there's just a bunch of stuff wrong with this engine. It's just, to me, it's not worth fooling around with no more. But the truck, other than the tires went flat on it, I still love the truck. I want to fix this truck so bad, and I've got plans for it. Since it is a 5-speed manual, I have that 3/4 ton chassis that has that 7.3 IDI diesel on it, and so I want to take that drivetrain, not really the 3/4 ton suspension, because that's a 1-ton truck there, but I want to take that 7.3 IDI with the 5-speed, and it's full drive. And I had that white 1-ton at one time that had the 7.3 IDI, and it was locked up, but it had a 5-speed, and it was 2-wheel drive, and I wish I kept the transmission out of that, because then I would have just swapped everything in there. But they do make a conversion kit for the front axle, so I might end up doing that. Might take that 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive axle out of the 3/4 ton chassis, do 1-ton conversion to it, put that underneath there, and then I'll see about the gear ratio and see if I can make the gear ratio match, so I can use the 4-wheel drive in a 1-ton truck with 3/4 ton suspension. I haven't done my research yet, so I'm pretty sure it's plausible, but I haven't done it yet. But yeah, it's that one that has that frame sitting on the back of it. Well, sitting on top of the engine is right now. But I've got so much stuff to do, and things things haven't been going like I've been wanting them to because of the weather. Here it's the 27th of December right now, so surprisingly it's not as cold as it is, but it sure definitely is wet and muddy. And of course, after the holidays, finances are tight as always, and it is what it is. But yeah, that's kind of like this is what's going on. And of course, I've got tires to fix on my trailers. Freaking tires are flat on everything. Yeah, I really need to get back into making videos again. I need to get this white truck going. It just needs to rebuild the carburetor, get the brakes fixed on it, and yeah. But I don't know, just a quick video, just kind of tell you where I've been for the last 4 months. You know, y'all have a great one. Thank you for everything. Like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.